Imagine lying awake at night, hearing scratching and knocking sounds from the walls, sounds that seem to come from beyond the grave. In 1760s London, one name sent shivers down the spine of the nation: Scratching Fanny of Cock Lane. Was it the restless soul of a wronged woman, or one of the most elaborate hoaxes in history? Tonight, we unravel the chilling tale of William Kent, his forbidden love, Fanny, and the terrifying knocks that captivated all of England. To understand the haunting, we must first meet William Kent. Born in Norfolk, Kent was a man of modest beginnings who worked as a clerk. He wasn't rich nor particularly powerful, but he was determined, disciplined, and eager to make something of himself. Kent married young, but tragedy soon struck. His first wife died during childbirth. Her death would change the course of his life forever. In his grief, Kent grew close to his late wife's sister, Fanny Lynes, affectionately known as Fanny. Their relationship, however, faced fierce disapproval. The Church of England forbade marriage between a man and his deceased wife's sister, branding their union sinful and improper. So the couple lived together as if married, but without the Church's blessing, a decision that would haunt them for years. To escape gossip and start fresh, Kent and Fanny relocated to London. But life in the city was far from simple. Kent became entangled with a man named Richard Parsons, the clerk at St. Sepulchre's Church. Kent lent Parsons a substantial sum of money. It was a fateful loan that would sow seeds of resentment and fuel one of history's strangest ghost stories. By 1760, Kent and Fanny moved into lodgings owned by Parsons in Cock Lane, near Smithfield. Fanny kept up her correspondence with family, writing warm and hopeful letters about her new life. But Cock Lane was about to become the stage for something much darker. Strange noises began to plague the house: scratches, thumps, and ghostly raps in the night. At first, Kent dismissed them, but Parsons, who still owed Kent money, seized on the disturbances. He suggested the noises might be supernatural, a restless spirit crying out. Soon, Fanny, now pregnant, moved into the house with Parsons' young daughter, Elizabeth. But tragedy struck once again. Fanny contracted smallpox, and in 1760 she died a painful death. After Fanny's burial, the scratching stopped for a time, but soon the noises returned, louder and more persistent than ever. Richard Parsons began telling others that the ghost of Fanny was haunting the house, scratching and knocking to warn the living. According to him, Fanny's spirit had returned to accuse William Kent of murder by arsenic poisoning. Parsons and a local man named Reverend John Moore devised a way to communicate with the ghost, a series of séances. Elizabeth Parsons, the young daughter, was placed in bed while witnesses asked questions aloud. 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no, and night after night the ghost confirmed suspicions that Kent had poisoned Fanny. The accusations spread quickly, fueled by Moore's knowledge of Kent's loan to Parsons and by the public's appetite for scandal. The phenomena drew huge crowds. The Public Ledger published detailed accounts, and people from all walks of life, clergy, aristocrats, even skeptics, flocked to Cock Lane to hear the ghostly scratching for themselves. Elizabeth Parsons became the centerpiece of these séances, while Kent grew more and more desperate to clear his name. He demanded answers, even as Parsons fueled the hysteria. Kent's maid, Mary Fraser, nicknamed Carrots, testified against Parsons, claiming the haunting was nothing but trickery. Still, the séances continued. Clergymen like James Fraser and the famed preacher William Dodd conducted tests, asking the ghost questions about the afterlife. Each knock deepened the mystery, and when further séances were held at the home of a Mr. Bruin, a man determined to discover the truth of this mysterious affair, reports spread like wildfire through the London press. Determined to expose the fraud, Kent arranged for Elizabeth Parsons to be removed from Cock Lane and placed under watch at St. Bartholomew's Hospital. There, another séance was attempted, but the ghost fell silent. Finally, under pressure, young Elizabeth confessed. She admitted to faking the knocks and scratches under her father's direction. The so-called ghost of Scratching Fanny was nothing more than an elaborate hoax. But the damage was done. London had been captivated, Kent's name tarnished, and the city left divided over whether the ghost was real or false. But the story didn't end there. The accusations led to a sensational trial, one that would involve none other than the great writer Samuel Johnson, the controversial Bishop John Douglas, and the very credibility of ghostly phenomena in England itself. Was Scratching Fanny a genuine warning from beyond the grave, or the most famous fraud of the 18th century? Stay tuned for part 2, where the truth, or what passed for it, would finally come to light.